Hi there. I thought that the next video about the WeVibe should be something that all of us as consultants should know about the WeVibe and its uses, its benefits, and that sort of thing. So this is not my WeVibe presentation that I would give at a party. I'll be doing that video and posting that one tomorrow. This one is kind of background information that we need to know in order to effectively sell the WeVibe and make sure that it has the benefits to that couple and has the impact on that couple that we want it to have. So I am the biggest fan of the WeVibe. I think that from a couple standpoint, it's the best toy out there in the world. All toys are couples toys as long as the couple uses that toy together. But the WeVibe provides something special that a lot of other toys just don't. It allows both partners to receive pleasure at the same time, and that's a very important thing. One of the biggest reasons I got involved in this industry and fell in love with this industry is because of the impact that we can have on couples. I went through a pretty horrible marriage, followed up by a more horrible divorce. And my son, I got to watch him try to have that agonizing moment as a kid, trying to figure out who he wants to live with. So his plan was to live with me for half of his life and his dad for the other half. So I got him until he was 13, and then he left and went to go live with his dad. So watching that and knowing the horrible side effect of divorce and what that can do to someone is scary. So I've done a lot of research on divorce, what causes divorce, on marriages, what fixes marriages. My immediate family, we have a marriage counselor in my immediate family. So getting to talk to those types of people and really understand and kind of get down to the heart of why we do what we do, it just makes you absolutely proud of what we do. My close relative was not only a marriage counselor, he was also a reverend. And, he got so involved in my business when I first started. And he's always been very supportive and proud of anything that I've ever done. But I went to visit him one night and stayed at his house because I had a party about 4 or 5 hours away from where I was living, and it happened to be in the city that he lives in. So I stayed with him and my aunt and got to hang out with them. And I think I made a comment and just said, I can't believe you're a reverend and you're still proud of what I do for a living. And he says, oh my gosh, I'm more than proud. I'm grateful and honored, and you're just amazing. And you have probably saved more marriages in 1 month than my wife and I could in our whole lifetime, because there's things that people, hi Bailey, how you doing? There's things that people will admit to one of us that they wouldn't necessarily admit to even a marriage counselor, let alone one that happens to be a reverend at the same time. How you doing? Okay. So I think that has a lot to do with our success and how amazing we are. And if you know the statistics, thank you. Oh, thanks. Okay. If you know the statistics on marriage and divorce, they're quite scary and daunting and depressing. And 60%, we're at a 60, is it nap time? Aw, we're at our divorce rate in this country is at the 60%. So that's huge. And that's if neither person have ever been married before. If one of you has been married at least one other time before, then you have a fail rate. He's getting his hair on my nose. Then you have a fail rate of about 97% that relationship is not going to make it. So in doing research, and, there's not going to be one, this is why people get divorces. There's not going to be one reason, but the top two are sex and money. So I tell them at the beginning of my parties, if you're not having enough sex, then buy a bunch of stuff. And if you don't have enough money, then sell it. We can help, and we can fix both ends of relationships. And that's why we do what we do. We love people, and we want to see them have the most joy and happiness out of their lives as possible. At the end of a woman's life, she thinks of three things. Three main things are at the end of a woman's life. And she thinks, did I love? Was I loved? And did I make a difference? And those are our three big things. That's what we want at the end of our lives. We want to know that someone's in love with us, and that we're in love with them, and that, that's all that happily ever after crap that they sell you in the little books as you're a toddler. And so the We Vibe is something that can give people that. And I think that's incredible. I think that's an amazing benefit. It is best used when couples are facing each other. So you're making eye contact, you're talking, you're deep in intimacy. If you're making eye contact with someone at the same time that you're having sex with them and sharing your body with them, you're sharing an experience with them and creating a deeper level of intimacy that a lot of couples don't have, or have lost, or never got. So I'm all, woo, We Vibe is pretty much my whole life mantra. I think it's incredible. I think it's a great toy. I think it's a great idea. The ideas behind it are fascinating and exciting. I'm going to try not to talk as long as I did on the last video. I went over 12 minutes, knew it. So, but I'm also not going to rush. I think it's important to know everything that you need to know, and all the different facets of this product and what it can do to a relationship. So if a couple is actually having sex frequently, regularly, their chances of staying in that relationship longer are that much more enhanced and incredible. So that's a big deal. Statistics show, the last time that I did research on this, which was probably 2, maybe 3 years ago, is that the average couple in America is having sex, and it's a statistic, so 2.3 times per month is average of how frequently a couple in the United States are having sex. And that's horrible. Our divorce rate in this country is the highest of any other country. And knowing that, and knowing how busy we are, and how multitasking our lives have to be, and that we're juggling so many things at all at the same time, and it's a lot. So you need to schedule that time in with your lover, and make sure that they know that they're important to you, and that you're in love with them, and that they're in love with you, and that you matter to each other. And sometimes we may only have 10 or 15 minutes a day that we can carve out for that, but they should be the best 15 minutes of that day. The rest of the day is just filled with the things that you have to do to be able to have those 10 or 15 minutes with that person that you're in love with. So that's a huge thing, and that's a big deal. So you want to get the most out of that time that you have, and the We Vibe is definitely, in my opinion, something that does that, and it makes it much easier for that couple to enjoy each other and to get the most out of that time that they can carve out for each other, as we are so busy in our lives and our families and jobs and school and everything else that goes on in the world. So I can't say enough about this toy, what I know that it's done for people, what I know that it's still doing for other people, because of its size, its shape. When people first see it, they're not going to just go, "Oh, I know what to do with that." It's not something like that. No one will pick up one of these toys and be like, oh, this is a da, 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 unless they already know about it. So having the background about the We-Vibe, knowing what it can do with that couple, and how that can enhance your intimacy and inspire greater romance in your life is vital. So I am off to make another video, and then the presentation video will come probably after that one. So I hope everybody's still tuning in, and I know I ramble on and I have so much to say about this product, and I probably sound like a horrible know-it-all, and I apologize for that if I do. I am not a know-it-all. I just happen to know a lot about this one thing, and there's a lot of things I don't know much about, so I just don't do videos on those. So if you think, oh my god, this bitch thinks she knows everything, I don't. I just know a lot about this, and I know the importance of the We-Vibe. And now that corporate has dangled that little carrot in front of our noses and said 5 of you get to go to Convention 2017 and have your registration paid for, then this is the time to study and to learn and to really understand, because we're about to get super, super busy. This is the holiday season. You've got Halloween, followed up by Thanksgiving, followed up by Christmas and Hanukkah and all the other religious holidays of whatever you follow. I don't care, as long as you're nice to other people and everybody loves you. So that's, or you're at least not hurting anyone else. So, then followed after all of the different holidays at the end of the year, then there's New Year's Eve, and then we jump right into Valentine's Day, which is our hot, hot, hot season. And then throw in that the beginning of November is when Kandi Burruss is back in action on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we'll be getting plugged quite a bit. If you were at Convention 2016, then you know that Bravo was there and taping one of the episodes from that show there. So very exciting stuff. You know we're going to get mentioned. You know Kandi's awesome about plugging her babies and letting everybody know that we are out there in the streets and helping couples to stay couples. So that's very, very important. And thank you for tuning in. And apparently 12.5 minutes is just where all these videos are going to land. So sorry. Love you all. Muchas. Mwah. Bye.